In this video, I'm going to be giving you my tips for cardio and how to make the act of doing cardio easier than it needs to be. I know that many gym bros absolutely hate cardio and they hate running, and I hated it too until I started getting into it consistently. So I'm going to be explaining you my tips for making a cardio as least painful as possible. I'll probably make a video about how to eat chicken and force feed as least painful as possible too in the future. Yeah, so this video is going to be about how to make a cardio as least painful as possible. And the first thing you have to do is you have to ideally go to a location where you like. You want to be running somewhere where you like the scenery and the location. I picked a track where I really like the location and it's a good quality rubber. And I prefer running on a track. I find it easier to focus and to take my running more seriously on a track as compared to running around like my block or just on the streets. Another thing I do is I hold my phone in my hand and I have Spotify on it, and then I choose like a 2 or 3 of my favorite songs for the moment, and then I just play them sequentially in order so I don't have to think about it. And then when I finish my last lap, I check the time on the last song, and then through that I can record how long my run was. So like the first song's 3 minutes, second song's 2 minutes, third song is 3 minutes, but you only went 1 minute through the third song. That means you ran the mile in 6 minutes, so that's how I time myself. And then you choose your favorite songs to keep you in the mindset. And in terms of mindset, you want to treat cardio like you treat meditation. You want to focus on breathing and just focus on just your breathing and just look forward and forget about all the pain. It's like a meditation. Like when you're meditating, you don't want to think about anything that's affecting you in the outside world, just on inside yourself, on your breath. You want to just be a tunnel vision, focus on your breath, and learn to forget everything around you. You have to learn that you're not your feelings and you're not your thoughts. And running is like meditation, and then it teaches you that you are not your thoughts or your pains, your stresses, your feelings. So that's treat it like a meditation. In terms of form for cardio, I'd say having good posture is good. If you stand up straight and keep your elbows tucked in, that seems to help quite a bit. You don't want to be leaning forward too much. You want to have, again, like consistent breathing. You want to be breathing in and out slowly. And obviously, if you're fit enough, breathing through your nose is great. But eventually, when you're working hard, you're going to be breathing through your mouth. But like I said, it's not the worst thing in the world when you're doing cardio. It's inevitable and completely natural to breathe through your mouth when you're running hard doing cardio. You definitely, before you start, you want to make sure your legs feel good. You want to do a very small stretch, do a little walk. The worst thing you can get, which is what I got when I started doing cardio, is shin splints. That will greatly reduce your effectiveness, and it will reduce your time by a lot. So you want to make sure your legs feel good every time, and you don't want to accumulate too much overuse, especially when you're doing the weightlifting training on the side. You probably could get shin splints if you don't recover good enough. For the run itself, you don't want to start too fast, but you also don't want to start too slow. You want to find the good speed. I'd say a good speed to do the first lap of the track would be anywhere between 1:30 and 2 minutes. You want to go at a good speed where you're breathing, but you don't want to go crazy. And you definitely want to ease into it. You want to use a progressive overload concepts. The first time you run the mile, 10 minutes is a bad mile time, but for you, if you haven't ran in years, it's honestly not the worst thing. You'll get to an 8-minute mile in a week, and you'll get to a 6-minute mile in 2 months. So you want to ease into it. If you go too fast to start, you're going to give up after a few runs. So your first mile being 10 minutes is not the worst thing in the world. You're definitely still going to get many benefits from running a 10-minute mile without stopping. Your heart's going to get the benefits, your lungs will get the benefits, and you will build some work capacity from that if your cardio is really bad. So yeah, those are my tips for cardio, for making it as least painful as possible. Anything else to say? That's the rest of it. It's just mindset. I only run a mile, 4 laps around the track, so I like to take it a lap at a time. The first lap is always easy for me, but once I get past the second lap, I'm already tired. But then once I pass the second lap and I'm just starting my third lap, is I tell myself that I just went over halfway, and then it becomes really easy. And then once I get onto the 4th lap, I just keep telling myself, oh, you have less than 1 lap until it's done. So it's just stupid mindset tricks that will get you through it. So those are basically all my tips on how to make a cardio as least painful as possible.